You remember Jasmine Crockett, black female, black and brown, black and brown. They have added, it's too bad that the Mexicans and others allow themselves to be governed by so-called Mexicans and other leaders, and now they are included in the black people mess, and the black people don't even like the Mexicans, and the Mexicans don't like the blacks. But when they go against the whites, they pull the Mexican leaders, and they all act like all the Mexicans are with them, and they're not. But you remember Jasmine Crockett? This female does not mind. She's not afraid because she's a black female, and you can't say anything about black females. Do you know that once America is completely, white people are shut down, it's completely over for America. People of color are not innovated. They're not motivated. That's why they left the S-hole countries to come here, and you let them take over. They're not motivated. They come here, they bring their same old ideas. Blacks have been here over 150 years, I think. What have they done in the last 70 years? Because prior to that, the so-called civil rights movement, black people were somewhat motivated and innovated. They were not blaming white people. You didn't even hear the black men would never blame somebody else for their situation, but now they do. The black men are worse than the women. But so for the last 70 years or so, give or take, black people have not been innovative and motivated. All they ever done was destroy. And they want to destroy white people because they don't like nice things around them. They have no love. They would vote in a female like Jasmine Crockett. And so the people get the kind of government they vote in. This from Grok. During a Democratic-led shadow hearing on immigration policy, Crockett referenced the November 26th White House shooting where an Afghan man allegedly killed a National Guardman. She argued immigrants commit crimes at a lower rate than native-born Americans and suggested tracking white supremacy crimes for deportation. Watch this from MS Now.
But obviously, in Trump's America, this is exactly what he wants. And the idea that one person can get out of line and commit such a horrific crime as shooting two National Guardsmen that never, ever asked to be here. In fact, we know the young lady that lost her life, specifically, we're saying that this is a waste of time. But now you want to go against every single immigrant. That doesn't make sense. And it's frankly not who we are, because if that's the case, let's talk about the white supremacists and how many of them need to be kicked out of this country, because I can guarantee you I can track down more crimes that they've committed, because overall immigrants have a lower crime committal rate than white supremacists. But we don't want to talk about that in this country.
This female don't mind lying. I mean, it can't get any worse than this. I thought Maxine Waters, the Wicked Witch of the West, and Obama and all the people were bad, and they were. This woman take the cake. This female is literally dark, and not just black dark, physically dark, but evil dark, real dark. First of all, it's been reported over and over again that the National Guardsmen from Virginia volunteer to be guardsmen, National Guardsmen. They volunteer. Nobody made them do it. They volunteer. So she lied about that, and she gonna stand up for the illegal immigrants, or so-called immigrant, whether legal or illegal, over white people in their own country, and you let her into your government. This female, there's nothing. This woman is sitting at the gates of hell, working for the devil, and you vote her into you let her in your government. Can you imagine a white person saying that about the blacks? Native-born Americans as immigrants commit crimes at a lower rate than native-born Americans, and suggested tracking white supremacy for deportation, crime for deportation. Now, when she say maybe she in her mind, she mean the blacks committed crime to each other and other people. Maybe that's what she's saying while pretending she's talking about white people. My country is gone. It's been taken over, given over to people of color. According to Politico, Bestrom volunteered to serve as part of Operation DC. And you heard the Jasmine Crockett, she said she didn't want to be there. That woman didn't want to be there, she said. It sounded like that's what she was saying. But Politico said that Beth Storm volunteered to serve as part of Operation DC, Safe and Beautiful, hearing to ensure the safety and security of our national capital. I mean nation capital, not national. Nation capital. Isn't that something? What would make any black person elect Jasmine Crockett to represent them in government or even in a hog pen, pig pen, chicken coop, meaning chicken house? 888-7753, 773-888-77 Jesse. Let me go to Michael, our first-time caller out of Boston, Massachusetts. Michael, you are on the air.
Yeah.
Michael?
She got babies and men, other men. She put she used to put them out.
I'm going to talk to a man. I'm not talking to I'm not no white wife.
You call these people on the line, that's a whole lot of bullshit. You better get yourself together.
Listen to me. I don't need to.
This is better than radio itself.
You in New York. You wouldn't go to the places. That's who got game messed up.
Man. Darren, let us know when he's ready. What the? 888-7753-773. I don't know if Michael ready or not. Maybe. Oh, he's ready? Michael, first-time caller out of Boston, Massachusetts. You are on the air.
Hi, Jesse. It's my first time calling you, brother, from Boston, and I'm
welcome.
I was kind of nervous. I had an argument. I had a situation I wanted to.
Was that your wife in the back or your mama?
That was Mama. I take care of it, Jesse.
That was not your wife?
No.
That was your mother?
That was my mama. She's 87 years old. She got dementia, and
why are you taking
care of her? I've been divorced for like 17 years now, but I watch your show. She doesn't like your show, and
why are you taking care of her? Why don't you put her in an old folks home?
I should, Jesse. It's just
and why don't you?
One reason is she just say that she don't want to go, and my sister.
That's not her choice.
Yeah, you're right.
Why don't you put it in there?
It's been really stressful on me, Jesse. Too much, man.
It has? In what way?
Well, first thing, especially with my since I've been divorced and I have 2 kids, and my son, he got a situation with his mother this morning. He didn't want to go to school, so he punched his mother in the nose, and now they took him to the hospital for evaluation.
Nice.
And I'm trying to see what should I do. And
how old is he?
My mother interferes in a lot of stuff, and I did forgive her, but it's still I was doing my silent prayer, but I fell off, and I'm trying to get back on it. But it's just like, since I haven't been doing my silent prayer, it's been a lot of drama, and I do got to break away from get things done.
How old are you?
I'm 55.
So why don't you just put your mama in a old folks home? Why are you tolerating her at all?
Jesse, I don't have to tolerate it. It's just that
you don't have the courage.
I'm feeling sorry because of trying to because my sister, everybody everybody it's like a guilt trip, but but it's been I can't really do it too much longer. I'm getting older myself, and I need my own life, but she just keeps saying that I'm I try to meet another woman, and she tried to interfere with that, but it's like she just goes a lot of stuff to make it feel like I'm like if I do something to her, it's going to be on me. Things. She said you got to respect your mother, obey her. But I said, Ma, I don't know your kid. I can't do no more. I got my own 2 kids. I got away. Even though I'm divorced, I got to stuff for myself.
How old are your children?
My son is 13, and my daughter, she's 17.
So the one that
they live with their mom.
What, with the mother?
Yes, sir.
And so, but if you don't do what you need to do, how will you ever have control of your life? Why are you letting your mother or anyone dictate your life like that?
That's true, Jesse. It's just
No, that was a question.
well, I'll tell you why. Just out of, I guess, I just see all the stuff, 'cause my mom did with me when I was younger, and how she took care of my father, and after he passed, and I just thought,
But that doesn't make her you obligated to her. She was the parent. She was supposed to take care of you.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, sir.
So that doesn't make you obligated to her.
No, it don't. I don't know. Maybe I just it's just a lot of the I guess it's, dealing with black mothers especially, they put that guilt trip thinking that I raised you, I took care of you, and then she said, well, something might happen to me in the home or something bad. I said, Mom, ain't nothing bad going to happen to you.
If it does, too bad. At least it won't happen. She's destroying you in your own home.
That's true. And it's causing me a lot of stress and drama. Even though I've been divorced for a while, but I gotta move on, man. I'm not getting no younger, and it's taking up a lot. I've been spending a lot of money. I'm taking care of money on my kids, child support, and then now this situation with my son. It really hurts me, man. I broke down in tears when I heard what happened to him this morning.
So
man.
What happened?
When she had picked him up from. My kids come to me on the weekends, and he went back home last night, and the ex-wife, she took him to school this morning, and he said he didn't want to go into school, and she kept telling him to go to school, and she said she called me on my cell phone this morning. She said, Michael, your son just hit me in the nose, and I just called the police on him. And I said, what? And she said, yeah, I'm going to take him to the hospital, get evaluation. I said, they didn't put handcuffs on his nose. They take him to the hospital to see what's going on with him. She said, your son hit me in the nose. And I said, oh, my God. It's just, I said, I'm going through enough already. And he's been having issues with he didn't want to go to school before, he was
So why don't you get rid of your mother,
ago.
Michael, out of your house and let your son live with you?
Yeah.
That was a question. Why don't you do that? Get rid of that old heifer. Put her in an OFO home and let
you make you laugh. You tell her like it is. Yeah, she is an old heifer, But she acts like she's so innocent. I remember I told her, I said, Mom, you act evil. There's nothing evil about me. I said, you got some evil in you. I said, everybody is evil. He said, but I forgive you. But she still wouldn't accept that, Jesse,
She don't need to accept it. You forgive her, but then you got to start taking care of yourself. You can't let this woman live with you and destroy you, man. What's your question for me or comment?
My question is basically, this is my son and everything. By the way, I voted for Trump 3 times, and a proud Trump supporter. And
right on, the great white hope.
And then I also agree with you. I see the situation with my son because he's a young black man, and I don't want him to. There's a lot of anger I see out of a lot of black young people. And
he lived with his mama. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to find out what should. He's in. I'm going over to the hospital to see him for a while and see. But you think I should try to get him? Try to see if he can try to spend some time with me or more. I just don't know where I should go to him. Cause I am going to get I'm going to get my mom out of this situation. She got to be put in a home. I can't deal with it. But I just try to see what I can do with my son. Personally with him.
Well, does he want to live with you?
He likes living with me. My wife, my ex-wife. She says I spoil him too much, and I have. But. She took his phone away from him, so I don't know whether she
does he want to come live with
him. But
does he's 13 years old? Does he want to come live with you?
Yeah, he likes living with me.
And will you be strong enough to deal with him in the right way if he lives with you?
Yeah, I will. I got to be.
So get rid of that grandmama, your mama, and let your son live with you if that's what you want. You make the decision. I can't make the decision for you. But
right, I understand, Jesse.
But it seems like you should get rid of the mama, put her in the Opal's home, and then let your son come live with you.
Yeah,
if you see
he
that,
loves to live with me.
If you see that it's the best thing.
Yeah, it is the best thing. You know,
Because if he
he
punches
likes being
your
around me
mother,
a lot of times, man. You know.
if he punched his mother in the face, like you said, that means he's having a hard time with her, dealing with her hell.
Yeah, yeah. She's one of those. I'm not saying everybody goes to church is very it has some issues, but she's one of them. She's one of those born again Christians.
Oh Lord.
And she's a Bible thumper as well.
Oh Lord, those are the worst ones.
But she did vote for. She did vote. I was surprised she voted for the Great White Hope, though. She did do that.
One thing right.
But that's some of the stuff he's dealing with. You know, it's just like he's going through like a rebellious stage or something.
Because
especially
just think
with her,
about it,
you know?
Michael. Look at it. His dad is weak, and his mama is, based on what you've said, is evil. The boy doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, I've been beta with him. I've been acting, you know, me dealing with my mother. Jesse, you're right. He sees that, especially as young men. They see that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, I gotta put her away, but I got to move on with this situation. I can't deal with it too much longer. You know, I got my son sees that. I think that's part of the reason why he's acting out the way he is too.
I mean, the boy doesn't. All of his examples are weak and out of control. What do you expect him to do? He's becoming like what he hates, what he sees.
Yeah. And he's lashing out against that.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. It's like a mirror reflection, and I know he has a lot of frustration and that stress, and it's built up. That's true, Jesse. You're right. He's lashing out against.
Michael,
especially with me.
I had I don't know if you know it or not, but I tried to come to you earlier, and I heard you and this woman arguing, and you said
that was my mother.
That was your mother, right? Here's what I recommend because of time. From this point forward, never argue with anyone anymore. Don't argue with your mother at all.
Yes, sir.
Don't argue at all. Let her argue about it. I recommend do what you want. Yeah. I recommend you, as you say, forgive her and put her in an old folks home unless one of your other sisters or somebody would take her. And
they could do that.
And you start working on your life, man. Stop feeling sorry for these people. They don't love you.
No. It's a guilt. It seems like they use that guilt trip to make you feel bad.
And let the guilt thing go. You have no business feeling guilty about anything.
No. Wow. You're a breath of fresh air, Jesse. And I believe you're right about that. I got to let that go, and my son sees that.
Hold on, Michael. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live and scratch off on Hills.net. Back in a moment. So the little glitches you've been seeing this morning, don't blame me, blame Kurt. You white. He's our new producer for Punchy TV, and he's also learning to run the board. You just never know. The anchor may be out or something, and Kurt will take over. How you doing over there today, Kurt?
I'm doing all as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you?
What did you say, Nick? I'm saying camera 3, man. Finally. That's Kirk, the new producer of The Fallen State. I mean, not The Fallen State. Not The Fallen State. That was a slip. But Punchy TV. Amazing. Let me go quickly back to Michael. Michael having a problem with his mama at the house and son and his wife. Lord. Michael.
Yes.
Michael?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here,
so how old are you again?
I'm 55, sir.
What is preventing you from taking complete control of your life?
You know what? Just really nothing. It's just, other people control my life, especially dealing with my mother.
But you're 50.
It's just been, like I said, I married my mama, and I got it. It's just it all starts from that, man.
But what is stopping you from giving those people the finger and taking control of your life? What's stopping you? What would happen if you took control of your own life, got rid of those folks, and took control of your own life? What would happen?
I think I know I'll be a different person, a better person. My son's, I know my son's situation will improve.
So why don't you do it?
I know I can do it. I can do it right now.
Well, why don't you?
Be in my faults, be in fear, worry about others, worry about her. But yeah, I can do it right now. I gotta do it. I don't want to live like this, Jesse. No more.
I know, man. And when you said fear of what?
Just that fear of thinking, well, I did something that people worry about. Family members say, oh, you put your mother away, you're gonna do it. But I can't worry about what other people say or what they think.
You know that if you have fear, you're of your father, the devil, right?
Yes, that's true.
So when will you stop worshiping the devil?
Now, I gotta do that now. Because it took a toll on me, and it seems like most of my life been she's trying to live most of my life. I got 2 kids. I got be there for, especially being a boy, my son.
But the boy and the girl need the father. The girl your daughter need the father as much as your son.
Yes.
All kids need the father's love. After 3 years old, they don't need that mama mushy love anymore, which is not love. But they need the father's love.
That's true.
The boys and the girl equally.
Yep. And nothing can replace that father's love. And that's what messed up most of my life, that mushy love stuff. Interference from her. But I can change that now. I got to do it now.
You have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have one sister.
Why don't you let her live with her?
That's what I was talking to my sister about yesterday. She said she wouldn't mind trying to help, but she said she don't want to be bothered with her too much. She's gonna have to put her in a home anyway.
See,
that's gonna have to happen.
Your sister don't want that heifer.
Oh, she's from Alabama too, Jesse. So
Lord.
Yeah, she's from Selma, Alabama.
Oh Lord, not Selma, Lord.
Yep. Civil rights territory, sir.
Oh my God. But because of time, I'm going to have to run. But listen, do what you want, Michael. But I promise you, you're never going to have peace until you overcome fear and you start working on you and the hell with the world.
That's true. Yeah. I can't be.
And you see, your sister don't want her. And so
she don't want her either.
If you love your mother, you'll put her in an old folks home. It's not your fault that she didn't take care of herself.
Yeah, it's been too long, man. It's got to happen now.
Stop arguing with her. Do what you want now. It's on you. Don't just take my advice because I give it. You need to see.
I know. I'm going to make that decision. I got to send some more money to you guys at Barn. I hadn't did it in a while, so I want to start contributing. I got to do it again with you guys.
You think you better start sending somebody all this mess?
I love you, Jesse, man. My father passed away, but if he was here, you would say the same thing. They don't have common sense anymore in lives, but I appreciate it, man. You put your ray of sunshine this morning. I love you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And send Bud some money. But listen.
All right. Yeah, I was getting in the mail, but I haven't done it. But I used to send you guys like $40, $50, $70, but I'm going to start doing it because the bond is important.
Yeah, it takes money to do what we're doing. But let me tell you this, Michael. Stop arguing with anyone. Don't argue with your ex. Don't argue with your children. Don't argue with your mama. Stop the fighting. Don't argue anymore. Let them argue by themselves if they want to argue, but don't you argue back. It's just two devils fighting.
No arguing. Don't feed into it. You're right, Jesse.
And then stop explaining things to your family members. You don't owe anyone any explanation about anything.
Okay. Yeah. They don't need to explain nothing to them. Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, and stay out my head, the thoughts and everything. Too.
Yes. There's never ever, I don't care what has happened in your life or what you've done or not done, there's never a reason to feel guilty about anything.
That's true. That's so true.
All right? So let all that mess go and live your life, man.
I will, Jesse. I will. And I can do that now. There's nothing stopping me, man. There's nothing stopping me.
That's right. Start now living. Lay down your weapons. Don't fight with anyone about anything. All right?
All right, Jesse. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me know how it goes.
All right. I'll be in touch with you. Let you know how it goes, sir.
All right.
All right. Love you. God bless you.
Love you too, buddy. Okay. I'm sick of hearing the word racism. By now, we all know that racism does not exist. It's a made-up lie in order to manipulate and control people for personal gain. And now, everybody and their mama are using the word racism. Except baby Jessica's daddy. Everything ain't racism. Plus, it doesn't exist anyway. It's just a made-up word. It was made up by the so-called civil rights leaders and the liberal white people to control the blacks and the whites, to gain personal power, so-called power, and wealth. And they've been using it for 70 years ago or so, and now they see that it affects white people and make white people run to the corner and give up their properties and everything because they don't want to be called racist. It's a spiritual battle. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities and wickedness and high place. Our battle is spiritual. It's not physical at all, zero. But because the people have been allowed to get away with it, now everyone is using it. Even, it's insane, it's evil. It is evil. This is from Fox 11. A police officer is suing the Glendora Police Department over alleged racism. Watch this from Fox 11.
The allegations of racism in the Glendora Police Department are disturbing. And this officer is also alerting the community about what he calls arrest quotas.
I want to pursue a job and a career where I could help people in a tangible way.
Officer Andrew Huang joined the Glendora Police Department in 2023. He says he loves serving his community, but hates being subjected to racial harassment inside the department.
These high-ranking supervisors are telling me and making these jabs and comments at me knowing that I can't say anything.
He says one incident happened during an end-of-deployment dinner at a sushi restaurant in Rancho Cucamonga. A lieutenant allegedly told him to get back in the kitchen and cook for the group because you're Asian.
They knew that this is wrong. You're not supposed to do this. We're in 2025. You're telling your only Asian officer to go back in the kitchen and cook for them because because what? I look different than you because I'm Asian? I'm Korean. I'm not even Japanese.
I don't know why the city would permit such conduct to go on. They have a growing Asian American population in the city of Glendora. 11% of their population is Asian American, and this is a concern.
Officer Huang says he was also dealing with directives to increase arrests. He showed us messages from the president of the Police Officers Association, urging officers to push arrest numbers up to 1,700 a year. Other messages sent out to officers included, "The jail sure is empty," and "Those crickets are getting loud."
This male should not be in the police department if he's that tender. Suppose the people are just joking. If you've been in a black restaurant, they told the black man, go back there and cook. What you doing up here? Just playing. I don't know that situation. I wasn't there, but suppose they're just joking around. And what does 2025 have to do with that? That's why you should not let these foreigners in our country, too. They're using what the blacks are using against the white man. Everybody, even Mexican, make that fish stuff now. What you call that? Sushi. Or whatever. Amazing, huh? He's so hurt. They were at an Asian restaurant. They told him to go back in the kitchen. Suppose they were just playing, man. And even if they were not, why are you taking it serious? Why is it so important to you? And why you got to show the memo from the police department if you work for them? And that stupid report, I told you all that intellectual people are dumb people. Intellectual people are straight up dumb. They're blind. And the more degrees you have, the worse you are. And how are you going to be a police and you're going to get attitude with the boss? How? And how are you going to deal with the criminal if you're so sensitive? Suppose they call your name out there when you're trying to arrest them. Are you going to get upset? Oh, and they hurt my feelings. I think, do they have a lot of Asians over there in Glendora or Hake? Maybe they have a lot of Asians over there. If you're tender like that, don't have a tough job. Go and pick cotton or something like that. And because of no bail bond, and then you can't arrest the people of color anyway, you're not going to have too many arrests to do unless you arrest some white people. It's time to end people. Stop being afraid of a word that's not even real. A word is not, racism is a made-up word. It's not even real. And he's already complaining. If you want to see people go nuts, take away their EB card, the SNAP card. It's like when you spoil people and then all of a sudden you say, well, you know what? Now I was wrong for spoiling you. You got to get up and do for yourself. They want to hurt you. Why do you think boys and girls, men and women, stay home with mama until they're 50 now? Because mama spoiled them and now they need to go to work because mama going to be dying soon. They're like, what the? You cannot spoil a person and think that person is going to be able to take care of themselves. It doesn't work that way. You're making them worse and not better. Fox Nashville is reporting. Government officials said if you are between the ages of 18 to 65, don't live with kids under 14, aren't disabled, and don't work at least 20 hours a week, you'll likely lose your SNAP benefit. For those who don't know what SNAP is, it's a welfare check and food stamps for lazy people. And they've been doing this in our country now for over 70 years. It hasn't always been this way. And now the people are so lazy, it's not even funny because they've been getting stuff free. So they're saying that if you don't get up and go to work at least some hours, 20 hours a week, you are likely to lose your benefits, free benefits, because you're not earning them, leaving some people without access to critical food, according to this report. What is critical food? I don't know what critical food is. What is that? Food you need to live? But don't you need food, period, to live? So all food is critical there, right? These people go out and they buy cookies and ice creams and snacks and things like that. They don't buy real food. What the? Watch this from Fox Nashville.
Officials say if you are 18 to 65 years old, you don't have a disability, you don't live with kids under the age of 14, and you don't work at least 20 hours a week, you'll likely lose your SNAP benefits. Some people on SNAP tell me they don't know if they'll have enough money to afford groceries.
That's some bull.
Nelson Scott is on the verge of losing access to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. He is 38, not disabled, doesn't have any kids, doesn't go to school, and doesn't have a job. Those are just some of the reasons he is no longer eligible for SNAP benefits. How much did SNAP help you?
It helped me a lot. I get $292 a month.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture crackdown is led by President Trump, who signed the One Big Beautiful Bill into law in July. The government shutdown stalled the November 1st deadline for implementation. However, these changes are still coming up.
We help
Signe Anderson is a senior director of nutrition advocacy with the Tennessee Justice Center.
Because of rules like this, we can see individuals that are going to be forced to skip meals.
She points out senior citizens and children between the age of 15 and 18 will be most impacted. Rick Williams is a conservative political analyst.
A 15 or 16-year-old can take care of themselves at home while you go work. There's no reason you can't be working. Yeah. There are plenty of jobs out there.
Scott tells me as a convicted felon, getting a job isn't easy.
I will get one if y'all give me one. Y'all be felony friendly and hire us.
What a mess. I love this idea that you got to work something, and that man can get a job if he want a job. He could go out and cut lawn. There's working at McDonald's. There's so many things he could be doing. That's not true. If you want to work. But why do you have to work if you're going to get it free? And then a 15-year-old to 60-year-old should be working too. Remember when you were 15, you would go out and get a job at a fast food place, and you would love making your own little money. It makes you feel so happy. Remember those good old days? The Democrats have spoiled these people. Isn't that amazing? He came from poor. The black man can't find a job in America. It's hard on the black man in America. He can't find any kind of job at all. He get $200-something a month, I guess he said. What Grandpa? And just for the record, it wasn't always this way with the blacks. Prior to the Civil Rights Movement, black people earned their way. And they never even considered that some white person can hold them back. It wasn't even in their thinking. And they had businesses, they bought land, they went to school if they wanted to, or not if they didn't want to. And black people need to know that and stop listening to the okie doke. I want to make this point before I go to the calls here. Your government hates you. Your political leaders, your religious leaders, your these people who are in charge of the police departments now, They hate you. And they want you scared, afraid, living in fear. And so they create, and I've said this before, they create situations that bring fear upon the earth, and they make sure you're not able to defend yourself. They create the situation, then they come back and pretend to be saving you from the situation. But it's just a pretense. And it's just all around us. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. The world gone crazy. It's gone crazy. And it's going to get worse. You can bank on that. This is hell on earth inside of human beings. This is the Old Testament played out. The New Testament, where real life is done. It's inside of you. Your government is not for you. And you're crazy and blind and dumb if you think so. And you don't see what they're doing. Do you know that in the United States of America, there's a possibility that, which is more likely than unlikely, that America will be a totally socialist society, 100%. And then you're going to have to try to go find some other country to live in where that's not happening. And I don't know where there is. That is. I got proof. And then what's so crazy, your government, whether Democrats or Republicans or liberal or conservative or independent or whatever you want to put a title on yourself, you keep voting for them. That's what really get me. And I understand because you can't see. And so you keep voting the same people in. They take away your Second Amendment. They make sure, they fight to keep you from being able to protect yourself in your own home, walking the road, or whatever. And you still vote for them. Perfect example. And this example I'm about to give you about this politician is so apparent. It looked like even though you're blind, you can see that this person is not for you at all. Nobody but himself. He's only for himself. He's demonstrated this over and over during the Chinese virus situation, over again, and you still vote for him. And he clearly he let everybody's house burn down in California in those areas. There was no water, according to reports, and all kinds of stuff. And he blamed somebody else. And you still vote for him. Gavin Newsom, the so-called governor of California. According to KATV, California is staring down a major budget problem, and the numbers are only getting worse. Newsom estimated the state saved about $150 billion a year for each prison to close. I mean, 150 million, my bad, not billion, but millions. A key part of his plan is to shave down a $12 billion budget. And you know what he want to do? He want to close the prison. Why do you think that is? Because he's not going to cut back on giving the money to the homeless people and giving the money to the criminals, the illegal aliens and all that. He's not going to stop that. And so this so-called $12 billion deficit is what Newsom wants, if it's real. Because nowadays, you don't even know what's real or not out there in the world. They lie to you, and then you vote them in. And so Newsom, he does this, and then he go on TV, comb his hair, wash his face, and he pretend that he's so concerned for the people. What kind of mind would tell you the solution to cut back on the deficit is to let the prisons shut down the prisons? It's not going to affect him because he's living probably behind a gated community. If not, he definitely have taxpayer protection around him. We pay for his bodyguards and all that. And I would not doubt if he's not heavily armed himself. Watch this from KATV.
All right, thanks so much. California has a budget problem. Just how much? A projected $18 billion next year and $35 billion the following year. That's according to the Legislative Analyst's Office. It says too much money is being spent, not enough is coming in. The governor and a group of Californians known as the Californians United for a Responsible Budget say that the answer is simple. close the state's prisons. According to the LAO, each year, California pays $127,800 for every person whose address is a state prison. Multiply that by all of the people incarcerated in our state. The most recent figure from the Public Policy Institute has it at roughly 94,000 people. That was from 2023. That is $12 billion at least. Governor Newsom says the state can save about $150 million each year when a prison is closed, which is part of his plan to close a $12 billion budget deficit.
Isn't that amazing? So the answer is not stop wasting money on illegal aliens, free education for illegal aliens, free cell phone, free rent, free everything. Or on these people, lazy people with the EBT card, whatever you call those cards. Is it EBT? Yeah, EBT card, meaning government card. All they're doing is land up getting money from the taxpayer. The solution is not that, right? Don't stop giving the money to the illegal aliens, the so-called homeless people, and the lazy EBT people. The solution, one of the solutions is shut down the prisons, close the prison, put all these people back on the street in your neighborhood. Because it's not going to bother Newsom or the government. They have protection that we, the taxpayer, pay for. But they don't want you protected because they want you scared. They want you afraid. They want you fighting. So they'll come back and pretend to save you, to stay in office, to get power and wealth for themselves. And you keep voting them in because you're a Democrat. You're a Republican, right, or Republican. Because it wasn't for Donald Trump, the great white hope, the Republican Party is the same. Donald Trump is the only one that made a major change, and the Republican representatives are afraid not to work with him because they know if he said don't vote for them, they're rhinos, they're out of there. They want to close the prison down. Think about that. Look how out of control crime is right now in California. Your governor that you voted in time and time again, that was a recall election to get Gavin Newsom out of office. And y'all said, no, don't get him out. You had a chance to get Larry Elder, who would have been way better than Gavin Newsom, but you chose the same devil again. You can't complain when they're breaking into your homes, your cars, when they're knocking you out on the streets, when your taxes are high because you keep voting in the people that keep you in there. Think about that. They don't think it. They're pretending that shutting down the prisons, putting these people back into your neighborhoods is the solution. That's what they pretend. They don't say, well, you know what? We're not going to take care of illegal aliens anymore. And if Donald Trump come here to try to stop it, we're going to show you how to avoid it. Isn't that amazing? Yes, Jesse, that is amazing. You should be shaking in your boots right now with the idea they've already defunded the police, and now they want to close the prisons and just let the criminals out. A lot of these criminals, some of them are illegal aliens. Lord, have mercy. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. This is hell on earth. And so Gavin Newsom is proposing the possibility of shutting down all the prisons or the prisons and letting the people out. I wonder, and I know he heard about this story according to a report, knowing this story in Stockton, California. Did you hear about this? And he want to let all the prisoners out. KCRA is reporting. A manhunt continues for the people believed to have been behind the Stockton area mass shooting that killed 4 people and injured 11 at a birthday party. Watch this from ABC 10.
What was supposed to be a joyful celebration for a 2-year-old's birthday party Saturday afternoon quickly turned to terror when someone came into this building in Stockton and fired several shots.
All I heard was gunshots. I didn't see anything. I just fell to the ground with my baby. I try to hide behind the jumper. That's all I remember.
Patrice Williams was hosting her daughter's birthday, surrounded by mostly family and some friends. She says the shooting happened as they were preparing to cut the cake and end the party. Her grandmother, Teresa Spivey, says she threw the cake table down as soon as she heard the shots and used it as a shield.
All I seen was kids dropping. Somebody fell on the side of me and they was hit. I looked up and I see my granddaughter. I ran and got her, and I just started throwing kids in the back room, putting them up under the table. And I just seen other kids just dropping to the ground, bleeding.
Spivey's sister, Bernice Bass, arrived at the horrific scene shortly after. She said she could see people carrying out children and people laying on the ground. The family shared this video from inside the building, taken when the family visited the scene the following day.
And the ones that lost their children, I am so sorry.
Amazing. So Gavin Newsom, instead of shipping the illegal aliens back, taking off this idea that California is a sanctuary state, paying for everybody and their mama so that he can stay in office, the solution to that is to shut the prisons down. Cut back on the spending of the prisons, the inmates, and you vote for him. You vote for him. I even heard reports of some of the people whose homes were burned down during the fire. They still got to vote for Gavin. Or they can't vote. I think this is Latin, but the next Democrat. Isn't that amazing? And then you complain, and you just feel so sorry for everybody. Can't even have a birthday party in your own little space there. But they want to put the inmates back on the road and give everybody free EBT cards or whatever you call them. San Joaquin County Sheriff has announced multiple arrests are coming. Watch this from KCRA 3.
15 people were shot, 4 were killed, 11 people were injured. We know that the people killed were 8, 9, 14, and 21 years old.
Investigators have yet to confirm the names of those killed, but the 14-year-old has been identified as Charay Peterson.
Governor Gavin Newsom ordering flags to be flown at half-staff in remembrance of those 4 young people who died and the 11 others who were injured in the shooting. The governor saying on social media that, quote, no child should ever have their life taken from them.
Yeah, right.
In an interview with NBC News, Sheriff Patrick Withrow explained why he believes multiple people will be arrested and charged in connection to this deadly shooting.
At this point, we think we had multiple shooters at the site, but I can honestly tell you we're looking for multiple people because this didn't happen in a vacuum. So we had people that helped them set this up, people that knew this was going to go down, and then after it happened, these guys got away somehow.
Stockton's mayor claims it was related to gang violence, but investigators haven't confirmed if that's true just yet. Those in the community say, without a doubt, this is tied to Stockton's music scene.
Gang related, but it's rappers that are in gangs. It's tough because I can't say too much, but it's real gangs from different sides of town that have real bloodshed on both sides.
And that tragic loss of life has left so many angry and frustrated.
Y'all want to put children in gang politics. Y'all took children's lives. Stop taking black and brown lives.
Black and brown. Black and brown. Don't say black and brown lives. How about bring back the police? How about shipping the illegal aliens back? How about stop giving free EBT cards to lazy people? How about bring back the police? How about don't shut the prisons down? How about bring back the Second Amendment? No solutions at all. Zero. Just don't hurt the black and brown. Y'all hurting black and brown people. Amazing, huh? And you vote for the same people. And they want you afraid just like that. And they're going to put up a half flag at the Capitol. Half flag. And no children should be hurt like this. And you're supposed to believe that. That's what they really think. And in the meantime, we're going to close the prisons. We're going to let the inmates back out. No bills bond. And you vote for them. Derek, my producer, said, my heart goes out to the parents of the loss of those children. My heart goes, what good is that doing, your heart going out? This is hell on earth. It's hell on earth. And it's going to get worse. There's another way to live. And it's from within. There's another reality, a real reality. It's called the kingdom of heaven within. And you can live from that kingdom right here on earth in spite of what's going on around you. It ain't going to change, but you can change as the individual. male or female. Male or female. And according to the report, 150 people at the party. Why so many people at a birthday party? For a child, I think, or children. 150 people, 100 to 150 people, according to KCRA. That must be one of Hake's party. All his little Asian friends were there and Mexican friends. He has no black friends. How come so many people at a child birthday party, if that's true? Over 100 to 150, and the child's not going to even remember it. It is a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil. And I have to tell you, in case you don't know, it's a mean, nasty, evil world out there inside of human beings. It's mind-blowing to know that. Really, it's helpful to know it, but it's mind-blowing that human beings can be so wicked and mean and nasty and evil, not only to themselves, because there's something, and we mentioned this, it was brought up in church on Sunday, karma. And most people think that karma is something that if you do to somebody, then somebody else is going to do it to you. But that's not karma. Karma is when you are doing wrong toward others, it is already coming back on you, because as you're trying to hurt others, whether with false happiness, niceness, or mean, nasty attitude, it's coming back on you as you're doing it, because you're burning, you're in pain while you're trying to create pain for someone else. It's automatic coming back on you. If you doubt that, pay attention to what you're feeling and thinking, whether it's supposed to be funny or not funny, what you're feeling and thinking inside while you're trying to hurt someone else. Human beings are a mess. And it's because of evil. All human beings are evil, not one. All are evil until they start to see it, admit it to themselves, men and women, and then they will overcome evil with good. But until that happens, human beings are wicked and nasty. Christ said, and I quote, anyone that has anger, meaning resentment or whatever, is a murderer. Anyone that has anger is a murderer. And you cannot, and it's so true, you cannot and should not trust an angry person. I don't care what relationship you have with them, blood, family, and whatever. That's why families don't work. The members are evil. So, but fret not. You can overcome evil and be at peace right here on earth. Really. You don't have to wait until you die. You don't have to think that Christ is coming back one day and then you're going to be free and all that. You can be free right now because he has already returned. He's in you. The kingdom of heaven is in you. And human beings are evil. All human beings. The heart is wicked until you start to admit it. And that's what it means to confess your sin. Admit that you're evil. But it's easy for people to say, I'm good. They lie. No such thing as a good person. It doesn't exist. Human beings are evil. Even the ones that seem so nice and sweet. You know those mama, like mama all nice and syrupy and sweet, but inwardly she's wicked. It's all a showcase personality. KTLA 5 is reporting. A woman says she was violently assaulted by, and they say unhoused here, but that's a homeless person. And they always try to change the name to make themselves more emotional or something. You know how they change words in order to seduce you in one way or another? But it's a homeless person. Here they say unhoused. I can see that empty-headed Carrie Bass saying, unhoused. Remember when they were bums? And they're still bums. Individual, this person was violent, according to the report, violently assaulted by so-called unhoused, but a bum. Individual while walking her dog in downtown Los Angeles. Earlier this month, an attack captured on surveillance video. Watch this from KTLA 5.
Shared the surveillance video of what she says were some of the most terrifying moments of her life.
Pushed me up against the glass, grabbed the back of my neck and my crotch area, and I was screaming for help.
Tara remembers the man being very strong, not saying anything, just making noises. At one point, she manages to break free.
And when I finally kind of did, then that's when he hit me and tackled me to the ground.
They tumble out of view, and that's when she says her cries for help were finally answered by a man down the sidewalk who jumped into action.
He was kind of on top of the guy, and he was just hitting him in the head over and over and over.
Tara says her attacker finally got up and just walked off down the street as if nothing happened. Still stunned, she called police, but by the time they arrived, the man in the video was long gone. LAPD says it's an ongoing sexual battery investigation and believe the man is homeless, but they haven't made any arrests.
Nothing. Yeah, so he's probably still out on the streets. It's scary to think that, yeah, he's still out there.
Tara says the incident has forever changed her.
Well, now I am no longer outside by myself when there's nobody around. I always carry mace. I have a stun gun. You just have to be prepared, and right. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder.
And wants to share her story in hopes of warning others to always be on guard.
I hope it never does to anyone, but you have to be aware and prepared.
Amazing. Now do you believe me when I say that white people are under genocide in America? Do you believe it now? No police around. The police in what y'all don't know, that's happening in L.A. over and over and over again now. The police come after the incident has happened, and the people are gone. And then it's like the police are around the corner waiting until the mean person leave, and then they show up. They never come during the incident. They have defunded the police. They have let the inmates out of the insane asylum. They have no bail bond, and then they give these people free drugs. They're already angry and lost, and they get them free drugs, which makes the situation even worse. And now Gavin Newsom, according to the report, is considering closing down all the prisons and jail for budget cut. Just imagine what you think is bad now, and it is. It's going to get worse. It looked like it was a white woman. Hands was white. She sound white. Can't even. That dog ain't no good. What's the purpose of have a little dog just running around you while you getting beat up? He didn't bark. He didn't attack. He didn't growl. He just running around all happy. He didn't care anything. Look at that. Just happy. They having fun, so the dog trying to have fun too. In his mind. See what you have done to the dogs? You have weakened the dogs. Because normally the dog at least growl trying to protect its master. That dog wagging its tail, having fun, while the owner being attacked. You have weakened the dog in the same way you weaken yourself and others. Isn't that amazing? The little dog, that dog didn't bark at all. What's the purpose of having a dog?
It's cute.
It's just a thrill.
Useless.
See, that dog wasn't bothered at all. That mama was being attacked.
Horrible.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. She needs a German Shepherd.
She needs Jesus.
That too.
Because they are even weakening German Shepherds, the big dogs too. They're mamaing them, the men and the women, not just the women.
Yeah.
And the dogs are so weak now.
They're neutering them.
Yeah. So human beings have gone to an animal state. And then they think they get love from an animal, and so they think the animal love them, so they're giving animal love back to the animal, and the animals are getting weaker. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. What a mess, huh? That dog ain't no good. Don't feed that dog. Put that dog out on the street somewhere now. Let it become tough again. Make dogs tough again. Here's another example of this is black excellence. Of bad behavior. Bad people, you don't have to be this way anymore. You don't have to be you. You can work on yourself. And there are black men and women doing it. I see them all the time now. Not only in this country, but around the world. They're starting to pull away from the deceiving crowd that is somebody else. Well, yesterday we showed you a video where somebody, I don't know, it's a stunt for the website or what, or YouTube, but they were passing out machetes to the homeless people. Can you imagine walking down the road and there's some crazy homeless bum high with a machete? This is hell on earth. Let me show you another example of bad behavior. From Clint to Houston. Nearly 2 years after a violent attack outside of a North Houston pawn shop left a man with dementia severely injured. A judge on Monday sentenced 30 years old Trayvon Lockridge to 15 years prison. 15 years in prison for aggravated robbery. Watch it from Fox 26.
A man beats an elderly victim to the ground for trying to get into his car in December 2023 at La Mexicana food store in North Houston. That victim's family says he was simply confused because he has Alzheimer's. The man in the red here is Trayvon Lockridge. He was arrested, but his bond was then lowered and he posted it.
And of course he gets out, and he's out, and now he's wanted again.
Wanted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in a shooting. It says that he fired a gun at someone's feet, had 2 guns on him. So you don't think any of that happened?
I don't think so. I don't think he has a gun. I don't think he had any firearms or ammunition. But if somebody did that, it was somebody else.
Amazing, huh? Black excellence. Yesterday I had a discussion with one of my Father State guests, and he think that integration is a good idea, but yet blacks are not being treated well. I'm like, what? We need to go back to segregation. You can't make somebody love you. I'm gonna make you love me. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. You can't make someone love you. Let's go back to segregation, and that way you decide as an individual who you want to play with or not. This integration thing has failed because you're trying to force people to love one another. God doesn't even force you to love one another. He told you to. He suggested you should. But if you don't want to, then you suffer. And they brought in this phony idea of civil rights and the so-called civil rights movement, and things have only gotten worse. Because you can't force someone to live together. You can't force them to let these people into your business and into your establishment if you don't want it. And then you let in the wrong kind of people. Look at those black people who've been accused of attacking that man. And the more you do for the blacks, except for those who are overcoming anger, the worse they get. They haven't gotten better. They have only gotten worse. DEI. DEI. Isn't that amazing? I want integration to disappear and segregation to come back and let people decide as they did prior to so-called integration. It has failed. Just like you can't let foreigners in our country, they don't mix. You can't force integration upon anyone. It has failed, and it's never going to work. The only thing that will work is segregation, and you, as an individual, decide who you want to hang out with, who you want to live next door to, where you want to live. Amazing, huh? Let me go to Henry out of New York. Henry, you are on the air.
Hello?
Hey, Henry.
Hey, how you doing, Jesse?
I've
called before.
Okay.
But just to recap, I'm 62 years old. I've had a life. I've heard you talk about your life. It seems like we have similar in terms of how we related to women all the life. Dating pretty women because they're pretty, and you were talking about today, and I was in show business for a while. I got into personal training, all that kind of stuff. But I always had this connection with my mother. My mother was my rock. My mother was, or so I thought at that particular time. I raised to think that your mother is can do no wrong, even though she could be very, very cruel and mean and say certain things, and she tried to divide me from my father. They separated when I was very, very young, and she wanted me to hate my father. And as I got older and I saw that I was very confused, and I went to therapy, I learned things like narcissism, which she is, And, I began working on myself, but it wasn't until I came to your show that you kind of put things together for me. My life fell apart about 10 years ago, and I moved back home with my mother. And actually a little over 10 years ago. And, then I had avoided my family most of my life. I had left home when I went to college, and other than short sprints when I came back, before I, like if I needed a place, while I found an apartment in the city. I lived in Manhattan for many years, and then I lived in L.A. for 12 years. But my mother was always my rock. Even if we didn't understand each other, she made very good money. She would support me if I needed it. She was very generous. And so I never really had to fear anything in life because I knew my mother had my back, right? When I started listening to your show, of course, a couple of years ago, she became ill and I became her caretaker. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
And I became her full-time caretaker.
Oh, Lord.
And, she became very sick, and I was here. And I was trained in my art. I was a chef and things like that. So, she had cancer, and so I felt, the honest truth is, and I'm being very honest here. I know I'm beta. I know I didn't feel that I could, handle myself in life very well.
Yeah.
And so I took the easier way out. And then when I moved back home, and though I was taking care of her, I always had a place. And she had retired at that particular point. She's 90 years old. And then I did the forgiveness. I forgave her. She got into a big argument, or tried to, when I forgave her. And after I forgave her, of course, she would say, I ain't got nothing to be forgiven for. Nigga, you little nigga, you and your daddy, the two black niggas, y'all niggas is the one need to be forgiven. I'm working hard out here. You two niggas ain't worth shit. She could say very nasty things, out there screwing white women. That's what you love to do. You love white women. Because I never didn't get along with white people. I always got along with everybody. In fact, the truth be told, it's black people that I never got along with.
Yep.
Because
absolutely
because I was pretty. I had pretty hair and features and stuff like that. And I'm growing up and I'm loving Prince and Michael Jackson and all that stuff. And my black people were more cruel. And when I was growing up, then
black people are cruel. People don't really know the depths of how cruel black people are toward each other.
They are. They're very cruel. They tease you mercilessly.
Yeah.
You never get a ground where you feel like you're supported, unless you embrace all of the anger and you sit around and gossip and talk about people like they do, which I never was a fan of. I got into martial arts when I was very young, and I think God had a hand on me in terms of I was more drawn to the Buddhist faith and the Taoism than I was, Christian, because Christian church people were crazy to me. I mean, they were insanely rude. The women all wanted to sleep with you. I mean, if you wanted to find sex, quick, go to church.
That's right.
All
How
you had
old
to
are
do
you now?
I'm 62 years old now.
Oh yeah, you said that. Okay.
But here's a situation that I find myself in.
Okay.
I have no career. I have no pension. I have no retirement. I have nothing coming. My mother is now in hospice. I have the house. She gave it to me, because as she got sicker, she couldn't take care of any of her business. So I began to take over all her business things, which I did for several years. Once I forgave her, I could see things more clearly. Once I didn't have anger, I didn't respond to certain things she would say. They would just fall off me. I could see, but yet sometimes, like I'm finding now at the end, when she's not there, cognitive, I have this. And this is the reason for my call. I have this complete fear because, you see, I don't get along with anybody in my family like that, right? The whole thing. My dad is gone. Everybody is gone, and I have this intense fear of being alone. This is the thing I'm finding is the demon, or I should say, I'm not claiming that the demonic thought of I won't have anybody, and I won't, and it causes me to feel such grief, because now I have to plan, her funeral. I'm planning it. I'm getting ready. I'm facing all these things. I'm taking care of the bills, the hospice, the whole thing. and I don't mind. It's just that I don't really know what to do. I mean, I really, all of my life the dreams that I wanted all failed. I don't know what to do in a world that out there now. I'm petrified of what that is. And so what I'm calling to say is, to just put that out there. If I was in LA, I would come and share it in one of them room talks, whatever. But I figure a call is just the next best thing. And
do you have a question or something about it?
Yeah, the question is how do you deal with the grief of a mother? How do you deal with the feeling of loneliness and what your life will be in that particular situation? Because I hear you talk about your life, and your life was, like when you say it's unique, a lot of the people may not relate to the things you say. That's why you have to preface it with, I'm black, or this is what we did in them times. Or like, the girl was fine. Like everybody who was young may not know what fine is, right? They may not. I don't know if they still use that word, right? Do they still use fine? You know what I mean? When I was the thing, we would be like, is the girl Vanity fine? That was if people didn't know who Vanity was, they thought.
Right.
People who were younger was like, Vanity, isn't that like a attribute? No. That's a woman.
A woman named Vanity.
The one that was with Prince, right?
Right.
So we would say, is the girl Vanity fine, or is the girl Jane Kennedy fine? But if the people didn't grow up in that era, they didn't know these women that me and my compadres grew up with. Anyway,
but because of time, you want to know how to deal with grief and being alone, right?
Yeah, and going forward,
Let me ask this. Let me answer this by asking this: who are you?
I want to answer the question, but I'm not quite sure I understand what context, like human, man. I don't know what that means.
So, who are you?
I feel like I am a spirit, living in this life. I feel like I'm learning lessons. I don't know how to answer that in a one-word sentence.
So then, when you say, "I am afraid of being lonely," I'm gonna be alone because none of my family members I don't get along with. I'm afraid of this and that. When you say, "I am afraid," who are you referring to?
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'm referring to those thoughts. Those are thoughts.
Absolutely. Why are you calling those thoughts you?
Yeah, habit.
Absolutely.
Unconscious habit.
What would happen if you never call those thoughts you, or you never identify with the feelings or the thoughts or the feelings, and you never said, "I am lonely, I am afraid, I am this"? What would happen if you stopped thinking of you?
All right, when you said it, it felt like, well, that would end that right there, because that's the emotional tie. That's the thing that brings the tears,
So what would happen if you stopped doing that?
I think that it would probably happen is that they would dissipate. They would disappear.
So why don't you stop? So the illusion of self would disappear. Because you are not your thoughts, you're not the fear, you're not the emotions. It's not you at all. But because you're calling them you, it feels like it's you. Stop thinking so that you can be free.
Right.
Because if you had the whole family in your life right now, if you had everything, you would still feel the way you're feeling now, because you are identifying with a false self. The self that must die, the illusionary self that must disappear so the real you can appear. And so, and you're going to see, and I promise you this too, you're going to see that there's no such thing as fear. Fear is just a thought. It's just an illusion. It's not even real.
Right. And so I haven't listened a lot lately because, like I said, I've been taking care of my mom. But I remember watching one where you were talking about at the actual work of that, like when you wake up in the day, when you say stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. What is that like when you're going out in the day, thoughts come, right? You're getting all these things. What do you begin to say to them? Like, okay, so
Nothing.
I'm going out in the day.
Nothing. Okay. You just watch them, have no communication with them at all. That's what they want. They need a reaction from you, a so-called good or bad reaction, so that they can stay alive in you. But you go about your day. Let's say you're going over to see your crazy mama at a hospital somewhere, and the thoughts are telling you all these things about her and what's going to happen. You just watch those thoughts, go and face her, but don't respond to any thoughts or feelings that's in you. Be aware of them, but do nothing about them, and they will be taken away. You would die from them. They would disappear, and you will have perfect peace.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But you got to stop calling it you. The real you, Henry, does not have fear. The real you has perfect peace, but this false you is where the illusion of fear comes from. It's not real.
And it's so funny because when you're asking, I have all these questions coming up, but all the questions are based upon those thoughts.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, they're trying to defend themselves through my questions, right? It's like, but what about, but what about?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They want to keep you in time where evil lives, rather than they don't want you to be present, know where you are and what you're doing at all time, because that's what life is. That's what God is. That's what the kingdom of heaven is always right here, right now. But the evil want you to live in time, thinking about the past, thinking about the future. What if this happened or that happened or this don't happen? It want you in fear. So it doesn't want you to even hear what I'm saying now, because it knows that if you ever get a glimpse of the truth, they're going to have to leave you.
Right. Understood, brother. Understood. Wow.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I got to take a break. 1 more hour to go. Back in a moment. Hate news. Hold on, Henry. Let me go back to Henry out of New York. He's dealing with grief. How to deal with grief. So, Henry.
Hey, bro.
So,
listen, before we get started, don't sing no more, brother. Don't do that. Don't sing no more.
I got joy.
Don't sing no more. I almost hung up the phone.
Don't be jealous.
I almost hung up the phone. It took my thoughts back. Hey, damn. He ain't no Sam Cooke, that's for sure. Anyway,
ooh, speaking of Sam Cooke, that man can sing. He did now, though.
Oh, couldn't he? Couldn't he now?
Oh, yeah. But anyway, do you understand now that all you need to do is stop? Be aware of the thoughts and emotions if you don't catch it. If you catch the thoughts in time, you're not going to have the emotion. But if you don't, you're going to have emotion. Do you understand you got to just be aware of them but not call them you?
Yes, I do. I understand that well. And while we were on break, I'm thinking about that and remembering, how, like, I understand that with these big thoughts, these big fears that I share with you in the show today. But I remember you saying on the show, all thoughts are all lies all the time. I believe that's how it goes, right? So then I thought about, man, how ominous that is. I mean, I also heard one show where you talk about, how difficult it was for you and how you went. And I can feel it in me now, how many thoughts are from the devil that I hold.
Yes.
Like the difference between the thoughts of like what my tasks of the day are, as opposed to all these thoughts and angers about a million different things. And so my mind was almost getting fried. So my question was, when I was thinking about it, do you recommend like a journal or something? I mean, what is it that everyone is doing?
Do nothing.
Do nothing. Okay.
Do nothing but be aware. And it's the awareness that will destroy the darkness. The light, which is awareness, which is the spirit of truth, will destroy the darkness, the thought, which are evil, and of their father, the devil. So stop obeying them, stop communicating with them, stop calling them you, stop reacting to them, and just be aware. That's all you need to do. And then go about your day, whatever you're doing around the house, or you got to go, but be aware, and you will die from them daily. That's what Christ meant, the truth meant, when it says that your thoughts are not my thoughts, my ways are not your ways. It's all an illusion. It's of darkness and not of the light.
Understood. And I can see when you're talking with people and people are getting drawn into anger, I'm now seeing how that anger is a part of those thoughts, especially in this climate where I had built up a thing where it's me against them, right? I voted for Trump. I loved Trump. I grew up in New York City. I met Trump. I dug the guy. I thought he should run for president 20 years, 30 years ago.
The Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope. But I'm now beginning to see how that division, when I look at people and I'm judging them who did not vote for Trump. I'm judging people who believe in Obama. I'm judging people that are gay. I'm judging people that are all the things that I feel are contributing to the downgrade of society. I'm judging them.
Playing God. And as long as you judge yourself and others, you will never know God. Satan would always, the spirit of evil will always be your God, not the true God. Right. It'll be the little God, but it will always be. But I promise you, if you stop following thoughts, don't do anything that they say, and then don't react and don't respond, you will never judge again, no matter what. You will let people live the life that they want. Whatever they want to do, that's on them, and it has nothing to do with you. And you're going to also see that it's not you against the world. You are not against anyone. You're just living your life. That will be made clear to you as well.
Right. Wow. All right, brother. I'm glad I called in,
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning and night?
Yeah, well, actually, I do it I do it more, honestly.
Well, all you got to do is stay with that then, and then during the day, be present by always knowing where you are and what you're doing, because you could be at the hospice place with your mother, but your mind would be somewhere else. That's always right. Keep your mind where you are.
Where you are. That's very... I know with the Christian, but it also sounds like very Zen. You know what I mean? Like that's like a. When I heard that before. Like when I practiced martial arts, like when I studied, to keep your mind present, focus. It sounds also very like kind of like a Zen thing, But I'm just saying, it just reminded me.
Who is Zen? I don't know him.
I know. You old. That's why.
I'm too old to even know Zen.
You too old to know what Zen is.
That's right. But just keep your mind where you are. And the way you do that, just simply be aware of where you are at all times, rather than being your physical location. Your body is physically in one location, but your mind is somewhere else. Bring it back to you. That's all you need to do, and it will change by itself. You can't change it.
You bring me a story. I've forgotten this. Years and years ago, I had to go to a hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack, right? And they found out that it was what they call a panic attack, an anxiety attack that I had. And I was rushed to the hospital, and I'm in the hospital, and they got the tubes, and this really sweet lady, she was like an angel. She came in, and she said, "Son," and she said, "How you doing?" And I said, I'm all, nervous. She said, you had an anxiety attack. Your heart and everything is fine. She said, "Here's what I want you to do. This is better than therapy. You can better than other things." He said, when you start having anxiety, bring your presence back to your body. Look over there and start naming things. That's a wall. That's a shelf. This is my toes. This is my hand. And it will bring you out of that anxiety. And I thought she was completely insane when she was saying this. But yet that proved it when I was on a subway once. I used to have a claustrophobia, and when the subway train
make a long story short for me.
Yeah, make a long story short. Make a long story short. Make a long story short. When I'm having that, I pull it back to the part. I'm sitting here. I'm doing this. I'm breathing right. I pull it back to the moment, and it pulls you right out of the anxiety.
That's all you got to do. Stay present.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.
And so just practice staying present, and those spirits, those dark spirits that made a home of you, they're going to have a fit. They're going to yell at you. They're going to say things like, "Where's God now? God is not helping you. God is." They're going to say all kinds of things because they want you to react so they can stay in you. Evil lives in human bodies, minds and bodies, right? And they don't want to leave there. They have to find somebody else to go live in if they have to overcome you. So don't call it you. You'll be fine.
Okay, brother. I appreciate that so much.
I'll
call back some other time. Let you know how things are going.
Yeah, let me know how it's going.
Okay, bro. Thank you so much, Jesse.
And be glad that none of your family members are in your life, because especially now that your mama died. They gonna try to rip off everything you got.
Yep. They're already suggesting such things.
I rest my case.
Yeah, you're right on that, brother. Right on that.
So don't let them back in your life. It's not love. All right?
Thank you, brother.
All right, buddy. Bye. Amazing. Grok is also reporting another viral video shows a black female, it says woman, but female, questioning the lack of black Santa Claus decoration in stores like Walmart and Hobby Lobby, framing it as a DEI oversight during early holiday shopping on December 1, 2025. Watch this from X.
I got a bone to pick this year because I done went to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Walmart today, and I have not seen one black Santa. Now, I don't know what's going on with all this DEI business, but Santa, black Santa is missing in action, and we need to find him. I ain't going to Target, so I can't check Target. I'm going to Marshall's next, and I better see a black Santa somewhere.
What a heifer. If you want a black Santa, put him up in your house. Nobody is required to have a so-called black Santa. Santa Claus is white, lady. A fat white guy from the North Pole or the South Pole. He ain't black. If you want your black Santa Claus, buy you one and put them up at your house. You cannot go to these stores and judge them because they're not into your mess. They're not in your DEI mess. Well, mess, huh? Black people, you are your own problem. Nobody else is. If you clear your mind, the rest will follow. Your mind is screwed up. Angry people are stupid people because their little God, Satan, is stupid. The nature of Satan is stupid. It's stupid to be walking around looking at somebody's business for a black Santa Claus. That's dumb. But when you're angry, dumb seems the right way for you. Seem to be right. Be quiet, Hake. Hake can tell me the real Santa, the real Saint Nick was Greek, of course. Greek is not at the North Pole. I mean, Kurt, is he from the North Pole or the South Pole?
North Pole.
The real Santa Claus did not come from Greece, James. He came from the North Pole. I want to know, what do you all think about this incident in my country? Really, what do you think about this? It's going to get worse in America. I can't wait for Elon Musk to build that rocket ship to outer space somewhere. I'm going on the first shipload so I can buy me some land, and because that land going to increase overnight, and it's only going to be able to sell it to the rich, and then there will be one race. The people who got the money won't be able to come up there, and then affirmative action will end. DEI will be done with. This is from Grok. What do you think about this? This post shares a video clip from December 3, 2025, depicting a black man confronting a white grandmother at a public venue after her special need grandson used the N-word toward him. Watch this from X.
Make sure you tell your son to watch his mouth. He's using derogatory terms.
He's not my son.
Well, whoever he is.
He is a special needs.
Well,
you cannot make him stop.
He can stop saying that. How did he learn the word?
He learned it from people at school.
So why he using it?
His family doesn't talk like that.
So why he using it against other people?
He's special needs, sir.
But he knows.
You understand that?
So why he knows to call me? Come on, man, get out of here. You're on camera.
You don't understand.
I don't need to
understand. He has a
understand.
genetic disorder.
But he's smart enough to know.
His brain is not right.
But he knows where to use the word
Okay,
at and
leave me alone.
and who's to use it to.
Leave me alone.
Then get out of here.
I didn't say anything. I said Mickey Mouse.
I said midget.
Mickey Mouse. Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? The boy said, I said Mickey Mouse. He didn't say the N-word. And the black guy still didn't back down. Aren't you sick of the blacks acting this way? It's just black fatigue gone wild. The boy said, I said Mickey Mouse. And you would think the guy would say, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. But he didn't. There's no love. Black people are suffering, not all, but most, not because of white people or anyone else. They have the anger that starts in their home, and they're blaming someone else for it because they've been told that. Same thing in South Africa and everywhere. And it's going to get worse. The boy looked like he was part black anyway. What the? The boy said, I said Mickey Mouse. 888-77. What do you think about that? Really, I want to hear from you about that, if you want to comment on it. Did y'all hear about this woman that apparently she was at the gas station and somebody tried to take her car from her? And I haven't seen the video yet, but she grabbed the guy and threw him out of the car, and the husband was sitting on the other side looking. According to the Blaze, astonishing surveillance video from a Hollywood gas station shows the moment when a woman pulled a male intruder out of her car and threw him to the ground with ease. I wonder if she was black. Watch this from CBS LA. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, the bottom line is this guy picked the wrong car, but he had to hop in to find out. Star Carter wasn't having it.
But I'm looking at him, I'm like, dang, he's about to jump in my car.
On a Tuesday night in Hollywood, she threw a stranger out of her car like a rag doll.
I don't condone violence, but I do condone self-defense.
She was sitting in her shiny red Alfa Romeo at this gas station when some random guy walked up and tried to open the passenger door. Her husband, Michael, who was pumping gas, told him to get lost and shoot him away.
I stood up and I was like, get out of here. And then I walked around this way.
But after Michael got back in, that guy crept back out from behind the pumps and came after them again, this time successfully getting in the back seat.
I'm wrestling with him inside the car, and I'm kind of pushing him. And all I know is he just disappeared, and I'm looking over the back, and I said, oh.
It was Star's final straw.
And then I just got him out like this. It was just like Kendrick Lamar verse was playing in my head, you know, like bing, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, bam, you know, so that's all I remember. I'm so embarrassed.
It was truly a manual extraction for the record books.
I just said, don't you ever do no stupid like this again. And he just looked like...
He looked like he finally picked up what she was throwing down. And while this little bump in the road may be funny in retrospect,
and at that moment, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know what this dude is capable of doing at all.
They realized it was a dangerous situation and say the man was clearly high on drugs.
And like I said, she is indeed my hero. Thank you, Star.
Oh, Lord. Well, baby. But the guy looked like he just wanted to take a nap. He's Weasley and little, and they say we're high. I don't know. What do you think about that?
It sounds like he wasn't putting up much of a fight at all. He seemed like he had to have been pretty compliant for her to be able to drag him out of their car.
And he seemed like a little skinny white guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't that big.
He was like confused.
Yeah.
Huh?
It looked like if he got in the back seat, he probably just wanted a nap.
Yeah, it's not like a carjacking situation.
Right.
I don't think.
I don't know. I wasn't there, but it didn't seem like at all like what they're trying to make it be. And now the man calling her his hero.
It's called heroin?
Like drugs?
No, like a woman hero. A female hero is called a heroine. But you're not supposed to have those.
Amazing. What a man. But you shouldn't leave your door open. But this guy was like casually walking up to the door. Looked like he was on the one side of the car. He was just seeing what the door was.
Trying to get in the back seat.
He didn't seem very worried or concerned.
Yeah.
Because the man was there and the woman was in the car too. And they were big. Maybe he just wanted to take a nap. But I don't know. And then have you seen this heifer? I don't know if this is just for YouTube or if this is serious or not. There's this, according to Grok, here's a 30-second video of a Democratic congressional candidate, a female by the name of Dr. Charay Smith, twerking energetically by a pool in a gray dress. Watch this from X.
Jesse, explain what's going on.
Oh, tell them what's going on there.
Well, you see this woman dancing, doing the dirty twerk dance, and she's a lot of woman. I'll say that, and she's just acting foolish, twerking and dancing. Not so much of the like rap music videos twerking, but definitely acting a little foolish.
And did she get that from Jasmine Crockett or something? Remember, Jasmine Crockett was supporting some black guy, and they were doing the twerking thing, or dancing thing. Is this the new way of presenting yourself as a candidate for office? Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. I didn't know there was no sound to it. My bad.
It was copyright.
All right, I understand, but I didn't know it. That's why I didn't say anything. Black people, white people, y'all see now that you don't want the blacks to take over your country? They bring in ghettoism. This is ghetto. This is not professional. This is all they know. They don't build, they destroy. And you let them run your country. And according to Grok, this so-called Dr. Smith female, she's an educator and community leader with a focus on children advocates, announced her bid for the heavily Democratic North Carolina 12th seat on December 3rd, 2025. You better hope she doesn't get in there because you already see what you're going to get. What's the point of acting that way? Black people, stop it. Not all, but most. Act like you got a little sense.